The late gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu's husband was yesterday found guilty and sentenced to death. Let's watch a short clip from TVC talking about this.
To judicial matters now, Justice Njideka Nwachukwu of the FCT High Court has sentenced husband of gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu to death by hanging. Justice Nwachukwu found him guilty of culpable homicide, resulting in the death of his wife on 8th of April 2022. Mr. Nwachukwu was arraigned in June 2022 by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation on a 23-count charge of culpable homicide, criminal intimidation, cruelty to children, criminal intimidation of children, spousal battery, among others. The court sentenced the defendant to 6 months imprisonment on count 10, 3 years imprisonment on count 11, while he was fined the sum of 500,000 naira and 200,000 naira on count 6 and 7.
As we all know, Osinachi was more than a gospel star. She was the voice behind the global hit Ekwueme and a spiritual anchor to millions. But if you remember, on April 8, 2022, her life was tragically cut short. At first, rumors pointed to throat cancer. Then the truth started to surface, years of domestic abuse. And I remember gospel minister Frank Edwards also being enraged about it and talking about it on his social media. The man was arraigned, just like you heard from TVC. He was found guilty of multiple charges. He got a lot of sentences, but the most serious one was him being sentenced to death. Women's rights groups and domestic abuse advocates have been hailing this judgment, and they say it's a bold move towards accountability. And fans also are remembering Osinachi with tributes, prayers, and calls for churches to do more to protect vulnerable women. Another thing is that I partially also blame the church for not teaching divorce enough, divorce in some circumstances, because Osinachi was an icon. But if she had divorced her husband due to domestic violence, and the churches that were inviting her to come sing for them knew that she was a divorced woman, to be honest, they wouldn't have been inviting her. So I partially blame the churches for not also teaching women enough to run when they don't feel safe, and the fact that churches chastise women who decide to leave their marriage because of one thing or the other. Now, I'm not an advocate for divorce, but I'm just saying that in a situation where your life is being threatened, then that is definitely ground for divorce. But we all know that even if you end up divorcing that particular person, as a gospel minister, you would be then chastised for that. For example, Mercy Chinwo. Now, I'm not wishing her bad. Nothing like that. I'm just trying to make an example. Let's say, God forbid, something like similar happened and she ends up divorcing her husband. All the churches that are inviting her to come sing today, most of them will stop inviting her. That's just the truth, because that is how the Nigerian church have been wired to not accept women who are divorced to come sing for them. And this is bad. I think the church needs to start recalibrating their brains and their minds to start accepting people. Obviously, if the person divorced their partner due to, let's say, cheating or adultery, fornication or whatever, that's different. But if you knew that this person was going through years and years of domestic violence and stuff, I don't think the church should be chastising such people. Again, Peter Nwachukwu still has the right to appeal this decision, but for now, the court decision sends a strong message. Silence is no longer an option. How do I feel about this judgment? I don't know. I feel a bit disturbed. To be honest, what I was expecting was for the man to be sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. So let him just rot in prison. But I really don't know how to feel about him being sentenced to death. I don't know. It's easier said than done. Maybe I would have been feeling this rage, or I would have been feeling like justice was done if it had happened to someone I know personally. But but I feel like life imprisonment without the possibility of parole would have been better. That's my opinion. But let's look at it from another angle. If you remember, the lyrics of Ekwueme was, "You are the living God, Eze, there is no one like you." So it is fair to say that the system she trusted has finally spoken for her. May her voice and her story never be forgotten, and may her soul continue to rest in peace. Remember, if you are facing abuse, domestic abuse, or any sort of abuse, you are not alone. Reach out, speak up, and your voice matters. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true life stories, justice news, and social insights from Omonumuse's world. Thank you for watching today, and until the next video. Bye.